That sounds like a Mack truck, a Brinks Mack truck, a huge semi-truck full of money being delivered to your doorstep. Sort of like winning the lottery. What would you do if you won the lottery?
Go broke quick.
Go broke quick, for real?
Giving away my money.
Oh, you're going to be one of those?
Like a sucker.
That's real, though. At least you
No, obviously the goal wouldn't be, but I would be a little bit. I'd do all right. I'd follow the advice of professionals, people I trust. I'd put it in the correct place.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it, more than the average person, I would say, I'd go to just some sort of helping somebody, some people, a group of people, setting up things, shit like that.
You think that average people are not really meant to win the lottery, be millionaires, like have a lot of money?
Well,
I think it's
sure, of course, because if more people were meant to, more people, it would, happen more to people. It's the lottery. It doesn't happen to everybody. It happens, more chance you get struck by lightning than to win the lotto. So I think
it's crazy.
I think obviously, just by definition of winning the lotto, it's not meant for everybody.
There's, because it's such an inherent thing now. Maybe 20, 30 years ago, they definitely had lotteries, but they weren't so popular when so many people winning. So because of that...
Wait, more people win lotteries now than before?
And
because there are more lotteries.
And there's more people.
There's more versions.
And there's more people
every year.
So there's going to be more chances of you striking it. The crazy thing is that the majority of the people that win the lottery, some crazy shit happens to them. And that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a huge number. I don't know the exact percentage, and I'm going with Phraydoe assumptions.
No, it's Phraydoe assumptions.
But I'm pretty sure that there's a larger number of people. Same thing with athletes, right? Play football, you get a lot of money, you lose the money. There's a lot more athletes that have lost money than have been able to keep their money and be financially savvy. And that's what I mean. Like, our average people supposed to, when you built your wealth by working hard and strategically planning stuff, you control your money. Not, there's an argument for everything, right? There are some people that have lost money by doing that, but the majority of those people that build it from zero to 100 and know what their path is, like a Bill Gates to leave Harvard and build, arguably the biggest company to ever, amass something that controls the world. Maybe Google, you have Apple, you have all those things,
Google definitely controls the world.
The Carnegies and the Ford, imagine being Ford and building your car, the assembly line, making that money. Your money is it's like you deserve that money, right? But when you win the lottery,
you don't deserve that money.
I mean, deserve is probably the wrong word, but
karmically,
you built for that?
No, most people aren't. I guess the average person wouldn't be, right? Because you're thinking, as an average person, you're probably thinking the next couple weeks, as long as situations status quo, the job stays good, the car stays good, the health stays good.
And then here goes all this money. Like, what do I do? I've been
if
surviving off
all of those things,
$2,000 a month.
Now I don't have to survive on certain things, and
that's it right there. You're not surviving anymore.
Right, you're living.
Yo, you just brought me to a realization. That's what probably triggers the mind to go crazy when you get all that money. You ain't got to survive no more. You ever seen that bum walking on the street? I even have family members like this that I feel like have disconnected from so-called society's rules and they want to live their own rules. And you look in their eyes and they look a little lost. I see this in some homeless people sometimes. Like, since they don't go to work, they don't have to pay bills, they're disconnected. Yeah, there's still a survival thing in there, but it's not the pressure that the working man has, the working woman, the working trans person.
Right. Trans?
I'm trying to be inclusive.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I thought you meant like transportation.
No, like trans person.
It was like, okay.
You're in the middle.
I mean all inclusive.
What your pronoun is right
swing.
now.
It's
you
a
don't know
swing.
What the pronoun is.
It's a good swing.
You're figuring it out.
Yeah, you gave a cut.
But if you're still an average person, you fall into those ideas. You're still going to be pressured with the same thing. Like, oh my God, I got all this money. I ain't got to survive no more.
Right.
What do I do?
Yeah, and then I immediately start giving it away.
What, to just strippers? or just a little bit of everybody?
I mean, at this point in my life, not strippers. No.
How do you know?
In my 20s, strippers. If I win the goddamn lottery at 25, strippers, and a bunch of them. But now,
maybe 10% strippers.
Nah, still no strippers. But unless
you hit that super lottery, you might go. You might pull up in the whip.
I'm scared real quick. Oh no, not at this point. Nah, but I would definitely figure out a way to make other people happy. I mean, I'm including family, obviously,
right?
But like, just people that need that shit, man. People need that shit. But nobody needs that much money. You don't need that shit.
Yeah, but are you in some ways, now that you got that open faucet, you got the water, right? You want to give the water to everybody, but maybe some people ain't ready to really swim. Maybe they need a little sip. Maybe that sip is too much. Maybe you enabling now.
Yeah, you figure shit like that out.
And then they're always coming back now.
I know very well about that. There's this cat I used to help out when I saw him, different situations. I give him, something to eat from the Publix, or I throw him $20, needs like a squeeze. He needs a certain type of squeegee and a bucket, because he got this job lined up, and then I'm looking at him like, damn, man, it's like I got another another thing, another mouth to feed or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, it's because I'm surviving. If I have the money and the infrastructure and the right people, you got to get the team, the people who know what they're doing, because I don't know what I'm doing. At that point, I would just be the guy saying, okay, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Boom. Get the right team, but all that takes money and a budget, all that stuff. So I understand all that at this point in my life. So if I were to get a certain amount of money, like for the lotto or whatever, that's the direction I would go.
Yeah. I think I'm about not giving people money, but helping people make money. So maybe I'm not giving you money directly, but I'm going to help you start a business. I'm going to help you fish.
Sorry. Also, this is also I felt this goes without saying. I'm gonna spend a bunch on myself too. Do some fun shit and some fly shit and travel and all the normal shit people would do. I would obviously do that. I'm not saying I would only give it away to people. I'm just saying all that's done. You know what I mean?
You think all in all, who are you gonna spend more money on, yourself or other people?
I guess it depends on how long I live. Because at a certain point, I'm. Like, even now, I don't spend money on myself, but I don't have it to spend on myself. But at a certain point, I know myself. I'd be like, all right, yeah, we can do that again, I guess, if you want. Or we can just chill right here and do this.
Yeah.
At a certain point, again, you get that initial, like, whatever, out your system. And then you just start, like, making them happy. But I think I would probably start making people happy right away, some type of way. I don't know if it's even just donating to the local or, I don't know, help a business person out.
Well, I'm asking you all these questions because today's episode is about a Floridian named Abraham Shakespeare. Remember Abraham Shakespeare? I
do remember Abraham.
When I heard about the story,
soul.
I was like, yo, this guy could be me. Like, working guy, struck it rich, man. Like, turned in the right numbers and got rich, but was not prepared at all. And like you, helped out a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think that's the saddest part of it, is that he really went out of his way. And that's what I mean about turning that faucet on. Some people ain't ready to drink from that bowl because some people are greedy people. You know what I mean? Sure. And they're going to take advantage of that because they think you have that infinite supply of water.
Right.
And here they come with their nefarious ideas, and him being just a genuinely good man. This is where being a good person is a bad thing, and that's a crazy.
Oh yeah, it's
way,
dangerous.
Like, damn, I have to protect myself. There's some people that I've heard recently I think this was in California, won the lottery and wanted to stay anonymous. They didn't want to go on TV and hold that paper check,
right?
Because now you're a target,
right?
You're a target.
Same thing about see those Dan Newland billboards up with the person saying, Dan got me $400,000.
Oh shit!
Cut out of your face.
Nah, I never thought about it.
On the
like,
street.
Oh shit, that's DMRC or whatever.
Yeah, it's like It's like, what? What's up, man? I saw a picture. You could just be walking somewhere and be like, that guy got $400,000. Anyway, same thing, but even worse. It's the people in the local area.
Yeah,
I guess
that's a huge target. Come rob me. Thanks, Dan, for that big ass billboard.
Local people,
and they're just sitting there happy as fuck when Dan hands them that check, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll get a fucking billboard. Would I get a billboard too?
No, right?
Never been on a billboard.
No way. I feel the same way. Somebody told me you should create a business and somehow accept the money through the business.
You get taxed less, absolutely.
Or to keep it somewhat anonymous.
Well,
but then somebody else told me there's no way to keep it anonymous.
Well, depending on how deep you know the law, yeah, you can just do a simple title research and know who owns the company. Unless you get some private shit in, like, there's some states like Delaware and Nevada that basically hide the owner, but it still goes through an attorney. And if you're savvy enough, you'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the average person, they're not going to really be able to figure something like that out. But that billboard don't help.
Nah.
That's fucking
a local person.
Yeah, that's crazy, Dan.
Come on, Danny.
Well, Dan, if you want to sponsor this podcast, feel free to reach out to you. And definitely, attorneys are good for what they're good for. That's all what I'll say about that.
All right. All right. We'll say that.
Kimberly, hit us with some facts.
Abraham Lee Shakespeare, April 24th, 1966, April 7th, 2009, was a casual laborer from USA who won a $30 million lottery jackpot in Florida, receiving $17 million in 2006. In 2009, his family declared him missing, and in January 2010 his body was found buried under a concrete slab in the backyard of an acquaintance. Doris D. Moore was convicted of his murder and is now serving life in prison without the possibility of parole. Shakespeare's troubles began after winning the lottery. The Florida Lotto winning ticket worth $30 million was sold at a Town Star convenience store in Frostproof, Florida, on November 15,
Hold on a second.
2006.
You're really trying to eat something that says white mystery? I'm trying it.
On that day, Abraham Lee Shakespeare and co-worker Michael Ford were headed toward Miami when they stopped briefly at the convenience store in Frostproof to buy drinks and cigarettes. Ford got out of the truck and asked Shakespeare if he wanted a soda. Shakespeare instead asked Ford to buy him 2 lottery tickets. Shakespeare said that he paid Ford $2 for the tickets out of the $5 he had on him that day. Ford later approached Shakespeare demanding a share of the jackpot of no less than $1 million, which Shakespeare refused to pay, prompting Ford to sue Shakespeare and alleging that Shakespeare stole lottery tickets out of Ford's wallet. The jury did not believe Ford's stolen lottery tickets story and Shakespeare prevailed in the courts. Shakespeare had chosen a one-time, lump sum cash payment of $17 million. He moved out of his working-class neighborhood in Lakeland, Florida, and into a gated community. Several months after his lottery win, apart from a $1 million home, his only other major purchases included a Nissan Altima and a Rolex watch from a pawn shop. By late January 2010, the sheriff involved in the investigation of Shakespeare's disappearance told AP that the lottery money is gone now. Friends stated Shakespeare had grown frustrated with the apparently constant appeals for money from both hangers-on and strangers. He told his brother, "I'd have been better off broke," and told a childhood friend, "I thought all these people were my friends, but then I realized all they want is just money." One of these was Doris Donegan D. Moore, who launched a business with Shakespeare, Abraham Shakespeare LLC, giving herself control of the firm's funds. Moore subsequently withdrew $1 million and bought herself a Hummer, a Chevrolet Corvette and a truck before going on vacation. She later claimed that the money was a gift from Shakespeare. On November 9, 2009, Shakespeare's family reported him missing, stating that they had not seen him since April of that year. Family and friends had originally hoped that he had taken his money and was living on a beach in the Caribbean Sea. A tip-off led investigators to the backyard of a home purchased by Moore, where Shakespeare's body was found buried under 9 feet, 2.7 m, of dirt under a newly constructed concrete slab. Shakespeare was 42. Hillsborough County detectives say Shakespeare died April 6 or 7 in the single-story ranch home in Plant City. Police took Moore into custody on February 2, 2010, in connection with the murder of Shakespeare. A judge set a $1 million bond. The police stated Moore had tried to convince an acquaintance to unearth the body and move it a week after the death, and had continued to try to convince others that Shakespeare was still alive. On February 19, 2010, Moore was formally charged with first-degree murder. Before police found Shakespeare's body, Moore said Shakespeare had decided to leave town and had gone to Texas, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Orlando, Florida, or was sick in a hospital. Moore also said that Shakespeare was tired of people asking him for money, so she helped him leave town. After police found his body under a concrete slab, in the backyard of the home she put in her boyfriend's name, Moore told police different versions of what happened to Shakespeare. Moore in turn blamed drug dealers, a lawyer, and her 14-year-old son.
It's kind of racist.
Her old son.
She later said she killed Shakespeare in
it's kind of
self-defense.
racist too. She was just like drug dealers. It sounds racist.
Her own son?
And her own son.
She blamed her own son?
Yeah.
For killing him?
Yeah. Like
her 14-year-old son.
Like he went on a jealous rage because, yeah.
Are we gonna hear about that?
I think we're gonna hear about that.
I'm really interested in that tidbit because that's fucking dirty, home.
This bitch is dirty. She's.
I knew that because I remember this kind of story, kinda. I don't, not all the way, but I remember like how he looks and how she looks and shit like that. But like the 14-year-old son, your son,
yeah,
that's fucked up.
Yeah,
I mean, I know murder and all of that, but like, you know, I'm kind of desensitized to a lot of that shit.
She's cut from that cloth, though.
That is crazy.
It's not too far. It's from that tree.
Yeah, that's true.
Soon after the disappearance of Abraham Lee Shakespeare, Moore, who was living in Shakespeare's house, kept using his cell phone and sending text messages to his friends and relatives, pretending she was Shakespeare. Recipients thought they did not sound like him and were suspicious because Shakespeare was illiterate. When people texted Shakespeare's phone back with questions that could not be answered by Moore, no response was given. During the same time that Moore was trying to make it appear as though Shakespeare was alive, she tried to find a person who would take the blame for Shakespeare's death for $50,000. She also offered to pay someone to dig up and move Shakespeare's body to another location. Property records show that Moore's company, American Medical Professionals, bought Shakespeare's house. Moore told investigators she paid Shakespeare $655,000 for his home and paid $185,000 for outstanding loans, which were actually worth much more. To others, however, there is no evidence showing she paid Shakespeare anything. Moore offered the mother of one of Shakespeare's two sons a $200,000 home if she would lie to detectives and tell them she had seen him recently. She also paid $5,000 to a relative of Shakespeare's to give his mother a birthday card and imply it was from him. Through the investigation of Moore, it was learned that she had once staged a scene to fraudulently keep a vehicle which was in danger of being repossessed after falling behind on the payments. She had someone store the car in a garage and then pretended she was kidnapped, sexually assaulted and carjacked. Investigators claimed she taped her own wrists and threw herself from someone else's car. She even took a rape exam. She later pleaded no contest to the charge and received probation. On December 10, 2012, Moore was convicted of first-degree murder for the killing of Abraham Lee Shakespeare and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole with
this lady. Like for her, this is what we were talking
understatement of the day.
When we were talking about
holy crap,
how you end up in prison, like who's really in prison.
What was her childhood like, man?
But like that's what I'm saying. Like you grow up, you might be Big Dick Harry, right? You grow up, you might be that like Michael blacksmith, shank making professional, or you might be Debbie Downer or Dee Dee Downer. This bitch, like how she could think she can get away with this stuff is sociopathic. It's like so like I'm gonna throw myself from a car. I'm gonna blame.
Also, what said is that she paid $5,000 to somebody to make a birthday card and imply it was from them. Meaning somebody took $5,000, like, all right, I'll take that. Hey, this lady's crazy, but I got my $5,000. Yo, why would she think everybody was going to be quiet about that, right? Especially the family members.
That's what I'm saying. She's got to be fucking crazy. Just on the ability to believe that, and then even to come up with that, like, I don't want to make the payment on my car, so I'm going to throw myself from the car and stage this huge elaborate story so I can keep the car.
Yeah, how does that work? How do you keep the car afterwards?
She's crazy.
There's a lot of questions. I got questions, as Cardi B would say.
You can tell that the guy was a good guy, man. No ifs, ands, or buts. The guy was a genuinely good person. He came from a great mom.
Right.
I don't even have kids. Somebody did something to Cosmo. I don't know if I could forgive him. You know? Maybe that's because I don't have the faith. Maybe I need more faith in my life.
That's the thing. It's always because of the faith, right? It's like,
sad though, man.
Fuck them.
People are fucking crazy, people.
Especially in Florida.
You got to put your guard up.
Especially in...
Listen, if you're going to win the lottery,
Polk County,
you come holler at Uncle Peans. He'll help you manage that money, okay? I might take some of it and help you invest it in a better place. But you
won't shoot him in the chest.
I'm not going to shoot you in the chest. I'm going to help you make more money, and that way we all make money. You know what I mean? And
that's all we can really wish for.
And you got to check people, man. You got to be confrontational. You got to ask people they're genuine. If you can ask somebody a hard-hitting question and they're going to stick around afterwards, that's a real motherfucker, and you need more people like that in your life.
True.
People that can't answer those questions and they start to divert, and you can tell, like, nah, I'm asking you something real. Where's the real in this? You know what I mean? You should trust those people. If you find yourself driving through a rich-ass neighborhood and a fat kid in a car is throwing trash out, you should know that man is doing positive things for the world. And that's what we have to learn from this episode. You know what I mean?
That's not what we have to learn from this episode.
Play them numbers.
You don't throw trash in people's neighborhoods.
Stay away from evil people.
To anybody's neighborhood, no matter what.
Trickle down economics.
If you win a lot of money, just be smart and pay it forward, but also pay yourself. And don't give it to everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry. That's an old saying. That have anything to say to you, because not everybody's on the up and up, and you got to do your research and make sure you're being smart, and don't be somebody who loses $17 million in 2 years. All you should ever do with that money is make more of it.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's YouTube University. There's plenty of examples of how to keep your money. We live in the information age. Time to, you don't even have to read a book. You just listen to an audiobook.
There's like 10 minutes. You could probably learn something.
Yeah. Well, it's Fresh Produce Florida Media at Gmail. Email us some information. I go by the name of Phraydoe Peans.
I'm still Chris Thompson.
You be safe. Love and peace, y'all.
Sorry.